Hi everyone, this is Mohan Reddy. I'm the SAP FICO trainer. So in this video, I'm going to explain a vendor down payment process. So how we can make a vendor down payment entries and what is the meaning of vendor down payment. So which scenarios we are using this vendor down payment made and different types of at the time of vendor payment made or what is the entry. So each and everything I'll explain one by one. At the same time, I explain basic theory part of view. At the same time, I'll explain in the server also how we can make any entries in different types of entries in this SAP S/4HANA 2023 new version. So let's go to the topic. So first of all, vendor down payment made, vendor down payment process. So it means, so for example, we are purchasing some goods and services to some XYZ person. So that XYZ person is called as a vendor because of he is supplying goods and services to our company. So XYZ company is called as a vendor. So here a vendor advance payment refers to the payment made by a buyer or to a supplier or vendor. So it means vendor down payment made means for example, we are purchasing the goods and services. So regarding this goods and service purchase purpose, before that we will pay some amount to the vendor or supplier. So this is called as advance. So it means before receiving the goods and services, we will pay some amount. So that is called as a advance amount. So some of the situations uh, vendor is asking we need to pay some advance. Then only we can start manufacturing whatever you are requiring goods and services. Then only we can able to start the production and serve and then only we can start the production and sell you. So in these situations the customer will pay. Customer means our company because of we are buying the goods and services. So in the situations our company will pay some money in the form of advance. This is called as a vendor advance. Basically, I'll give some explanation. When once you read it, then automatically you will get some knowledge. So there are few key points in note. It means if vendor point of view, if you can pay some amount, some situation the amount will be refundable, some situations not refundable. For example, we can pay some amount to the vendor, but at the time of but vendor will manufacture the goods and services whatever, and he will ready to deliver to you. In the situations, customer means our company. In the situations, our company he just inform to the vendor, we no need to products. Return my money. So, but vendor is not accepting because of he already spent some amount to the goods, whatever he manufactured the goods and services. So, in these situations, he did not return the money. So, this is the non-refundable or refundable asset. Sometimes advance payment may be non-refundable if the contract is cancelled, while others may be refundable partially or fully based on the terms. So at the time of advance payment, we decided to terms and conditions. We agreed. Then only based on the terms and conditions, the amount will be refundable. How much percentage it will be refunded if we agree if we cancel the contract. And payment terms. So at the time of advance payment, vendor is asking, I need 20% or 50%, 30% something. Then you can pay that amount. Then only I will start the production and send the goods to your end. So this is the payment term and accounting treatments. So this is the general knowledge, general point of view. For the buyer, an advance payment is recorded as a prepaid expenses. So as per accounting terminology, so we are the customers. So we paid some amount to the vendors. So in these situations, uh, whenever we paid the advance to the customer, till when we receive the goods and services up to date, it means when we receive the goods and services, that date these advance comes under the current assets because of we paid advance to the current vendor. So maybe some of the situations some default issues, whatever from vendor side, he did not able to send the products. So in these situations, we will ask in these situations he will return the money. So then automatically again our money is refunded. So advance payment comes under the current assets. So this is a normal terminology as per accounts terminology. And in summary, a vendor, once again, and vendor advance payment is prepaid made by the buyer, typically initiate the granted fulfillment of order. So this is a process. This is the basic explanation for theory point of view. And now vendor invoice posting. So I just explained the entries. Once you can understand, then only we can start the configuration, whatever the entries will done in the SAP server. So first of all, vendor invoice payment entry. So it means if we received any goods and services from vendor, so vendor invoice entry is nothing but if we received any goods and services to the from vendor, then we can make an entry in our books using with purchase invoice. So purchase invoice means whenever we receive the goods, once we will check the goods, whatever at the time of at the time of yeah, at the time of purchase order, based on the purchase order, quantity, material quantity, and material price, whatever, everything is at the time of purchase order time. What are the rules and what are the rules we can accept? Then each and everything, if it will be correct, then only we can make an entry using with vendor invoice. So vendor invoice entry posting T code is in SAP FB60. So FB60 means, so the T code is, using with FB60 we can generate an entry. I'll explain one by one using with the, so FB50, FB60. I just entered FB60. You can see this is the vendor invoice posting screen. Vendor invoice company, our company code, this one. So I just explain, select any vendor. So here a vendor is something. I just click on Reliance one. This is the vendor and invoice date. So invoice date means whatever the date mentioned in physical date. So for example, we can receive the goods and services 1 week back, but now today we are entering the document in our system. But invoice date means whatever the date mentioned in physical document, that date will be mentioned. But the invoice date cannot be in future date. The system cannot be taken if you entered in a future date. So then, right, invoice date is 10/9/2024. So posting date, it will be automatically selected when document posting field status variant, whatever, if we can select it, based on that posting date, it will be automatically added. Now invoice amount is, I just mentioned, 1,000 rupees. So this is the vendor invoice amount. Taxes, and these are all the topics we will cover later next class. Because it's very lengthy topics, and after configuration, then only we can make any tax and everything. And now vendor account data. When we purchase goods and services, posting entry is purchase or inventory raw material account data to vendor account. So here vendor comes in debit, and now raw material. We need to select the raw material. So click on this, our company code, chart of accounts BCOC, and continue. Now I'll select inventory raw material account. So these ledger I already prepared. Once if you post any entries, here I just mentioned when vendor advance, this is a vendor advance paid GL account FS00. So I'll just explain to create. So I already created inventory material. So using with FS00. So this is the just vendor invoice posting. So right, and debit amount is 1,000. Enter. So here you can see in this vendor already we paid 15,000 down payment. So it means in previously I just mentioned in down payment in this vendor 15,000. So I just close it this one and change the vendor number because of you did not understand 13. So I just mentioned this vendor, enter, dependent will be data initiated. So now this is the purchase invoice. Whenever we purchase goods and services to the vendor, in these situations we received an invoice. Based on the invoice, we can make an entry. So this is a vendor invoice vendor invoice. So before going to the document, you just click on the documents and simulate it. So here it shows vendor invoice posting. Whenever we're posting the vendor invoice, whenever we're posting the vendor invoice, so it can be display. Our vendor account is 1300 something. Inventory raw material GL account is 100. So inventory raw material account data to vendor account. So here debit posting key is 40 and credit posting is 31. So both debit and credit line item amount it will be same. Here you can check uh, company code BMWC fiscal year 2024 period 6th and currency. Then click on save button. So then automatically the invoice will be saved. So document 1515 was saved, right? So you just click on this document 1515 was saved. So now we can check this is the vendor invoice. So this document we just made. If you want to check the vendor balances, so you just slash an FBL1N. This is the T code for vendor invoice, vendor line item display. So here, if you just mention the vendor number, you can enter it, or else uh, click on the open items. So open items means vendor invoice made, vendor invoice generated entries, and the clear item means if you can paid the amount regarding the vendor invoices, then automatically it shows clear item. All item means it shows all items. And here normal GL items and special GL account. So now we are doing the normal GL account. So because of vendor invoice entry time, we use normal entry. Whenever we are trying to vendor advance posting, that time we will use the vendor special GL account. So I just click on and execute this one. So here you can just 1515 document number. Just now we posted. This is the 1511 1515. This is the vendor number. You just click on, then automatically will be displayed. Vendor number 1300. So this is it shows red symbol. It means now we need to pay some amount to the this vendor. So right. Now we paid we'll made a payment regarding this vendor regarding this purchase entry. So here purchase entry purchase is 1000 rupees material we purchase, and regarding this we'll made a payment to, right. Regarding this we'll made a payment T code is F-53 slash and F-53 document date 14/09/2024 and bank account. So from bank account means from which bank will made a payment. Click on this one, click on our Axis Bank and amount 1000 rupees. Open item selection means nothing but customer or vendor. So all the customers and vendors comes under the open item management. So click on that one. Uh, I'm sorry, and 1300. Our customer number is open item management. Open. Just click on this one. Okay, I need to enter our supplier number 130000. Just click on. I just made an entry. Our customer FBL1N and click on this one. So this is the our custom vendor number 1380. So right 135678 and enter post outgoing payments at data. So this is the vendor payment. So here in this vendor there are different types of there are multiple invoices is there. But now here I am going to clear this 1000 rupees invoice. So here so there is the different types of payment options here. Is there standard payment, partial payment, residual payment? So standard payment means so if we have amount 5000, 5000, 1000, total 11,000. So we will clear the total amount. We can select this partial payment to, or else we can pay the partial amount. Select on this partial amount. So here partial amount means out of 5,000 we can pay, we will pay some amount. Out of 5,000 we will pay some amount. Out of 1,000 we will clear some amount. So now risk DL amounts means whatever the balance, total balance we will clear at a time. So now I am going to pay standard clear. So here 1,000 rupees. So 1,000 rupees I'll clear. Enter. I'm sorry, this is the cash discount option. So here I just select this one. Then automatically amount entered 1,000, not assigned 9,000. So here out of 1,000 I'll pay 1,000, right? Now click on the save. Then automatically 1,000 rupees invoice will be posted. Document 533 was posted in company code. So it means vendor invoice posted. Regarding this vendor invoice 1,000 rupees, I just made a payment. So now we'll check the subledger report. Basically, vendor and customers comes under the subledgers. So vendor subledgers, all the vendors and customers. It means subledger GL, all the open items comes under the subledger. So subledger GL account report checking purpose, we can use the FBL1N. Enter. So /n FBL1N. Enter. So now previously it opens 1,000 rupees, it will be displayed in the open items. Now once again we will check the 1,000 rupees, it will be not display here. You can see 1,000 rupees. Previously 5,000, 5,000 and 1,000. 11,000 is there, but now 10,000 only. So remaining 1,000, remaining 1,000 just now we cleared. So click on the cleared items and execute. Then automatically 1,000 rupees. You can see this vendor name 1,000 rupees. It will be clear now. It shows green symbol. So in this way, we can make any payment. If we can receive any vendor invoices, immediately we can generate the vendor invoice using with FB60. After that, whenever we have a funds, then we will make a payment to the vendor regarding this particular invoices. Using with T code is F-53. So now invoice entry and invoice payment is we have an idea. But now in this class we'll made a payment to the advance payment made to the vendor. So it means down payment to the vendor or advance payment made to the vendors, whatever based on our understanding. So if we paid any advance to the our vendors before receiving the goods and services, entry is vendor special GL account data to cash account, right? Vendor special GL account data to cash account. So vendor special GL account data to cash account. So this is the entry. So now I'll made an entry of vendor special GL account, vendor advance payment. So, but before going to made any vendor advance payment, we need to create vendor special GL account. Vendor special GL account. So it means vendor advance payment made. Vendor advance paid and vendor advance paid, we need to create one GL in the name of vendor advance paid. So using with FS00, we'll create a vendor advance GL. So /n FS00. So vendor advance paid, all the advances paid comes under the current assets. So we can use current assets option. So here I already created yesterday vendor advance payment. So we no need to create. So you just click on this and edit. So what are the requirements we need to update at the time of vendor advance payment? Here type description. No, type under the type description, vendor advance paid comes under the balance sheet, comes under the current assets, short text advance payment, and control data. Coming to control data, we need to select vendor advance payment comes under the vendor reconciliation account. So we need to select the vendor reconciliation account and go to the create bank interest. Here we can select Nothing is not entered. Here only field status group only. I'll select G067. So in already previous class, I explained how to create a new GL account. So these purpose I just explained. So vendor advance payment GL account I created. So now, if you want to post any entry, vendor advance paid GL account to FS if you want to create any advance payment in the situations entry is vendor special GL account to cash or bank, whatever. So regularly we can use vendor. Instead of vendor, here we can use vendor special GL account. So whenever we are made in advance, in this situation, the special GL it will be entered. Nothing is more here. Just instead of vendor name, here we can enter vendor special GL account. So now vendor advance payment is created. But now these vendor special GL, these vendor payment, we need to assign our vendor's reconciliation account. So reconciliation account is nothing but vendor reconciliation account is nothing but sundry creditor. Customer reconciliation account is nothing but sundry debtors as per normal terminology. So now we'll create vendor reconciliation account. So vendor reconciliation account also we already created because at the time of vendor master creation time, vendor reconciliation account also we created. So now vendor reconciliation account also is there. Just now vendor advance payment GL account created. Now we need to assign these vendor reconciliation account to vendor advance payment. These two GL accounts we need to interlink. These two GL accounts we need to assign here. So assign means T code is OBY or something, I think. Right? Assignment between sundry creditors. So sundry creditors means vendor reconciliation account to vendor advance payment. So OBYR /N OBYR. This is the T code for assignment of vendor reconciliation and /N OBYR. So this is the reconciliation vendor special GL account. So here you can see all the vendors at the time of vendor special GL account open using with OBYR, then automatically the screen it will be display here completely K, account type K. So for example, you can check /N OBXR. OBXR comes under the customer reconciliation account. You can see all the customer situations it can display D. But special GL comes under, we'll need to select only down payment purpose A only. So now we are creating vendor. Now we are in vendor point of view. So /N OBYR enter. So double click on this one. Automatically our chart of accounts it will be displayed. So here I already assigned. So our reconciliation account. Reconciliation account, why we are using the reconciliation account means basically in normal tally terminology, other accounts terminology, as per balance sheet, all the sundry creditors and debtors is there, but sundry creditors means we need to pay some liability. We need to pay amount to our creditors. So this is comes under current credit sundry creditors. So all the vendor, if you want to select the each vendor wise report, we can use vendor wise using with the FBL1 and T code. You can enter the vendor wise, you will generate the report. But if you want to generate, if you want to know the report, all the vendor wise, how much amount to be paid for the particular duration. In these situations, we need to use the vendor reconciliation account. So any vendor creation time, we need to assign, we need to link this vendor reconciliation account to the vendor. So this is the vendor reconciliation account. And special GL means we just now explained to create vendor advance paid. This is the special GL. So this is the vendor advance GL. So the using with OBYR T code. Here account type is K, special GL indicator is selected A, and here we need to assign reconciliation account to advance down payment to the vendor GL account. So then click on save. It shows already updated yesterday. So no changes may have made. So now entry is whenever we paid a advance, entries advance from whenever we made entry, advance vendor special GL account data to cashier bank account. So now we'll made an entry. Vendor advance payment or vendor down payment made T code is F dash 48. Vendor payment is F dash 58. But down payment situations we can use the T code is F dash 48. So slash n F dash 48. Enter. Document date, I'll just mention today date. So here now vendor account, I'll select 13 something. 13, right? This vendor I selected, and bank also I'll select Axis Bank because we already created, I think, Axis Bank only. So I select the Axis Bank. Amount I just mentioned 50,000. So I'll pay advance to the particular vendor amount of 50,000 rupees. Text advance down payment advance to vendor, right? And click on enter. So here we need to select the special GL. So whenever we are making any entry using this T code, it means vendor post vendor down payment means you must and should select the special GL account. So select an A. So this is the down payments and current assets, right? And enter. So amount again I'll enter 50,000. So here due date means if we paid amount today to the vendors, but material supply due date means like 10 days. So I just mentioned 24/09/2024. Vendor text also, vendor advance, whatever, enter. So now before going to save, we just click on the documents and click on the simulator. So this is the whenever we are posting the vendor advance, vendor advance made. So the transaction is I just explained. Basically, normal entry displays. When basically normal entry. Basically, if you made any normal entry to the vendor. Okay. Basically, if you made any entry, normal entry to the vendor, like debit posting key and credit posting key, it will be display. And whenever made a payment to the vendor, transaction is here. You can see vendor payment made, vendor account data to cashier bank account. So, but here instead of vendor, Mohan is the vendor, but here special GL it will be added. So whenever special GL added, uh, here you can display 29A vendor advance payment time special GL posting keys is 29A and debit and vendor and Axis Bank posting key, credit posting keys is 50. So vendor special GL account. So whenever we made a payment to the vendor, so vendor account data to cashier bank account. So but special GL advance payment time instead of vendor special GL account only use it. Remaining it will be same. So vendor special GL account data credit posting key Axis Bank credit posting fee. You just observe the screen. So whenever we made an advance payment, posting key, credit posting key is 50 and debit posting key is 29. It will be mandatory. Then only the system will take it. The transaction as a, that's then only the system, it will treat these transaction as a advance payment. So click on that one. Document 534 was posted in company codes here. Now vendor advance payment time, we just made it on a document. So now document is posted. So if you want to see the vendor balance, so how much amount we need to, how much amount we pay to the particular vendor. So same thing, F/N, once again, FBL1N and click. So this is whenever we made a entry, invoice entry, generally it will be displayed, but here this is not a vendor invoice. This is not vendor invoice. This is a vendor advance. So these situations, if we can check the vendor balances, how much amount we paid in advance, we can select FS10N, FS10N, enter and execute. One, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is the special GL, right? So you just go back, FB L1 L1N. So previously I just check it, uh, open item management or create item, whatever. Here I just selected in a normal item. So here now I will select the open item management. Open item means advance payment. So just execute. You can see 1300 KZ document vendor payment 50,000 it will be displayed. So previously it will not display because of we selected a normal GL, but this is a special GL. So whenever we are trying to generating the reports, here there is some checkbox is there of the type normal items, special items. If you want to generate the reports for the both type of payments reported, you will select the normal and special. Or else if you want to select special GL advanced payment type only, we can select the advanced payment, right? So here 50,000 it will be displayed. Now we paid 50,000 advance to our customers, right? Our vendors. So now regarding this 50,000 invoice advance payment made. So now after some days you will receive any goods and services. So invoice is received. Now we need to generate the report, generate the transaction using it invoice whenever we get the goods and services. Invoice also generated. So FB60. FB60 is vendor invoice posted. So vendor name is 1300. So this is the vendor Mohan Group and invoice date. So invoice date also I just mentioned today date. So feature date is not able to, we are not having option to enter feature date. And the amount is 15,000, 50,000, right? And here purchase inventory raw materials, whatever the based on the in real time scenarios, there are different types of products. Here I just prepared one inventory raw material account, click on that one and enter the 50,000, both debit and credit amounts also it will be in same. And if you want to generate uh, any branch wise business area wise, we can select business wise, area wise, cost center wise, profit center wise. So in real time scenarios, we can select this each and everything. But now still we are not in cost center, profit center accounting. Whenever you are entering the CO level, I just explain this why we are using the cost centers, profit centers. I'll explain it clearly and enter. So here you can see it's the system it shows 50,000 rupees down payment current asset exit. It means now we are trying to generate the invoices to this particular vendor. So system shows already 50,000 rupees advance paid to this particular vendor. So system it shows. So whenever we are using the special GL items, so if you try to create any purchase invoice at the same vendor, then automatically system it shows you already paid some advance to the particular vendor, right? Continue. So already whenever vendor invoice for posting, so this is the purchase invoice, right? I just go back. So click on the save. Document 156 was posted in company code, right? Now here vendor advance payment made and vendor advance payment made, payment done. Then after that we received goods and services through the from vendor. Invoice also received. So invoice entry also generated. So we just check FBL1N. So it will be nullify or not. Basically, the vendor balances, it will be not zero because of advance payment 50,000 made. and goods and services we received worth of 50,000. So both amount will be nullified. So balance it will be zero, but it shows again the same balance because of we made another entry for this transaction. So you just click on FBL1N, right? So select on the special GL account, click on this one. So it shows again 50,000 in uncleared account because of we need to do some entry, further entry. So next further entry is so next further entry is customers vendor special GL account data to vendor account. This is the final entry. Then only the vendor will be. So previously you can see here uh, vendor advance payment made. So the T code here vendor special GL account it will be debited. So again we need to return this as a credit side. So vendor special GL account here debit side and vendor account is and vendor invoice payment. Vendor invoice payment vendor is credit side. So here this vendor credit side will enter as a debit too. So here vendor special GL account here is debit. We need to in credit side. Then only the balances it will be nullified. So the final entry is transfer advance from special GL to normal GL. Okay. So transfer of advance from special GL to normal GL. So this is the entry. So here there is no entry because of already transaction done. But we just using with the F-54 T code, we just nullify the balances. So this is the final entry. F-54, we just go the server /n F-54. So this is the F-54 vendor down payment, clear vendor down payment. So the final entry is so here vendor special GL account debit side. We need to keep in credit side at the same time vendor is vendor purchase in. So here we need to select these payment we did not keep in mind in this situation. So first one is vendor payment made. Second one is vendor invoice generated. So third one is here vendor final payment is vendor account data to cash or bank account. But here vendor account is credit side, but debit entry is missing. So here using the F-54, we just click on this one and document date is 14/09/2024. Process and down payments. So it shows one down payment, it will be display here. So now we just click on this one, go to the document, simulate. So this here you can see 39A reverse entry. So 39A means vendor special GL account data to vendor account. This is the final entry. Then click on save. Document 2503 was posted in company code. So then only here there is a debit and credit entry. Both debit and credit entry is vendor special GL account will be in debit and vendor account will be in credit. So then automatically balances will be finalized, will be cleared. So now we'll check /n FBL1N, check it and click on the special GL accounts and click on open item. Open item, now it should not be displayed. Previously it shows 50,000. Now it will not display. So just go back and click on the clear items and execute. So then automatically it shows 50,000 will be cleared. So this particular vendor balances KZ document, KA document. So it will be shows vendor advance. So now it will be clear. So vendor advance, we paid 50,000 and 50,000 rupees. So here the entry is, so basically entry is first one. This is the vendor advance payment. This is the first entry I just mentioned. This is the first entry. And second entry is this one. After advance paid, we received a goods and services. Then we made a payment. We made an entry, vendor invoice entry. First one is vendor advance entry. So then final entry is this one. This one is the final entry. Transfer advance from special GL to normal GL. So using the F-54. So this is the advance payment. In normal terminology, you just receive a goods. You just receive a goods and services. Then based on the invoice, you just made an entry, vendor invoice payment. After that, whenever we have a funds, we made an entry for the vendor invoice clearing entry. This is the clearing vendor invoice entry, vendor clearance entry. But if we can pay the advance in this situation, we can use special GL account. So whenever we made advance, first step is vendor advance payment made. So F-48 is the T code. Transaction is vendor special GL account data, cash account, cash or bank account debit. Second one is whenever we receive the goods and services, we made an entry. Purchase account or inventory raw material account data to vendor account, right? And final entry is cash transfer advance from special GL to normal account. So this is in this class we need to so I hope everyone understand vendor advance paid GL account created and reconciliation account also we have and assignment between sundry creditors to vendors here special GL it will be displayed and vendor after that if you want to generate the report subledger report by FPL1N sundry creditors wise FS10N reconciliation account wise. Reconciliation account wise FS10N. So this is the class today. I hope everyone understand. Thank you. Thank you so much for supporting and watching this video. And please subscribe my YouTube channel and please subscribe my YouTube channel and like and share my videos. Thank you. Thank you so much.